Hey guys, what's going on? Jim the Owl here. Welcome to I Tried Playing, a series on my channel where I try playing a game to see if it's worth it or not. Today on the chopping block is the final Season 2, as Season 1 has just ended and Season 2 has just started on the same day. We've got new maps, modes, weapons and systems to go through and look at to see what has changed. I'll quickly run over all the changes that the opening cinematic shows, and then we can go in-depth later on. That shows you that new private matches have been added, as well as there's been a change to the rank system, the new game mode power shift, as well as career circuits being like daily challenges and a career challenge throughout the season, showing the new map and all the new gadgets that you can use, as well as the 3 new weapons being a shotgun for the heavy, a assault rifle for the medium, and a pistol for the light. Finishing this all off with the new battle pass. Let's start with the new game mode, seeming it changes the most out of everything in the season. Seeming this game has been known for its 3v3s and whatnot. This is a 5-on-5 affair where the team who can progress the floating platform furthest into the enemy territory gets the most money and wins, or they can get it all the way to the end and win the game early. It is a fun, hectic, absolutely ballistic game mode that is very sniper heavy is what I'm noticing. In the few games I did play of it, I noticed that snipers were dominating the area, getting onto the highest point they can, and because there's no cover on the platform at all, you just get sniped and you really can't do much about it. But when it's not being dominated by snipers and everyone is just scurrying to get onto the platform and try and hold it down, yeah, it's just absolute mayhem with explosives, fire bombs, turrets laid out and trapped up. It is so fun. It is a very good game mode. It definitely changes up things if you wanted a quick mode, because it don't take too long to get through this game mode, but what it lacks in time does make up for in hectic chaos. Moving on to weaponry next. I tried using all the 3 new weapons in at least one game of tournament mode. Tried being the key word because I'm not very known for my good accuracy and dead shot gameplay.
Oh, I can't aim this gun to save my life, man.
I'm not a big fan of the shotgun, and it's not me pulling a, oh my god, it's so inaccurate, he's too tanky.
Nah, fuck that shit, man. He's too tanky.
It's more the fact that it's just not for me. I'm not really good at FPS games. I don't know if you could tell from the clips I've been showing. I'm not the best all the time. And with that means being accurate isn't one of my key features. So when a gun requires accuracy, especially a shotgun that requires pumping and all the things in between, it becomes a hassle, and it becomes a chore, and it becomes a deadly situation that I lose 90% of the time. It seems to have good damage long and mid-range, which is insane to me, but at the same time, it just feels like a quirky rifle more than it does a shotgun, so I just don't enjoy it that much. I wish I could. I love shotguns, it's just not a gun for me, but seems like a good gun overall. Up next to bat is the medium, with a weapon that's probably going to become my medium standard, the weapon I go to when I have to whip out a medium. It is the FAMAS, a burst fire rifle. There's not much to say about this weapon, it's just overall just a solid weapon, standing out as probably one of their better weapons. It does high damage, good recoil, good accuracy, you know, good for mid to long range. I think it'll get beaten out in short range by most other weapons. It just feels good to use. I didn't have a problem using it this whole round. I just really enjoyed it. There's not a moment in this game where I felt like I was completely out of my depth trying to use it. It was a nice little weapon to use, and it definitely will become the standard use weapon for me when I use a medium class. As a light player, this was the one I was most excited for. The light's weapon of choice in this new season is a burst pistol, and it's by far my favorite weapon out of all 3. Where do you even start? This is by far like living up to all expectations and more. My time using the silenced pistol is transferred and double. It is much more easier to use, and coming out of stealth, you can definitely pepper someone down faster than you could with the silenced pistol, and you can be less accurate with it. It just feels like it's easier to hit the bullets. It also feels like I can brawl easier with medium and heavy loadouts. It feels like I can burst them down a bit quicker and brawl with them for a longer period of time. I just like this weapon overall. It is just such a fun weapon. It lived up to everything I wanted it to be. I am so happy that I can actually use it, and it's definitely going to be my go-to gun. Notice that I say gun because at heart, my go-to weapon will always be the sword, but overall, if I have to take a gun into battle as a light, it definitely will be this burst pistol. Mwah, French kiss, perfect weaponry. So with that being said, that concludes all the weaponry. All 3 weapons, if I had to rate them in my personal opinion of what I prefer to use, use, it would definitely go Burst Pistol as being the best weapon added, then the FAMAS, then the shotgun. Now that is not in terms of meta, that is not in terms of like how good the weapon is, that's just in terms of the weapons that I'm going to be using going forward. I won't ever be using that shotgun again, but I will be using the FAMAS, and I definitely will be using the Burst Pistol to its fullest potential and wanting to learn the ins and outs of how to use it to its best possible play. With that being said, I do think the shotgun is going to see some play and a healthy player base around it. Same with the FAMAS. I do think these guns are overall just strong. I don't think they've added any weak weapons into the game. I think they've done a good job of adding some solid stuff to change up the gameplay. There's only one big thing to talk about now, and then it's a bunch of small things. Let's talk about the new map. Now, sadly, I can't talk about the map that in depth. It took us about 3.5 hours to even queue into a single match of it. And when we did, it was on quick cache, so I can't comment on it in a tournament setting. But what I can talk about is how it felt like free-flowing movement, combat, and look-wise. And I would say it ticked all the boxes for me, especially in quick cache. I didn't feel lost at all. I felt everything was easily accessible. I didn't feel like anything was locked away from me. I was using the teleportation grenades, and they were pretty fun. The quick gates and whatnot, they were pretty fun on this map as well. So I got a 2-in-1 whammy of testing new things out. Overall, I am enjoying Horizon. I have no clue how you're supposed to pronounce this map, but I'm just going to call it Horizon from here on out. I do like it. Aesthetically, it's probably one of my favorite maps that the game has got so far. Tournament-wise, we'll have to see. It could crumble apart in an instant when it comes to tournament. It felt very hectic in quick cache, but quick cache is just a hectic game mode, so there is a good chance it's not as hectic when there's 4 teams going for 2 different objectives. However, it will be noted that the map doesn't feel as big as the other ones, and the points don't feel as far as the other ones, so it would stand to reason it could be a bit of a ball ache in the tournament setting. I'm not even sure if you can queue into it in tournament at the moment, so that will be interesting to see. Overall though, I'm digging the new map. I'm really liking it, and I'm hoping I get to play it a little more. It is definitely a breath of fresh air from how the game has presented maps so far, with this like kind of feel around it. They definitely switched up and gave us something new and unique, and I do enjoy that. I'm hoping to see more maps like this in the future. Not maps exactly like this, but more unique, more maps based on what the season's going to be about. Hopefully we get another map drop during halfway through the season, like a mid-season update, so that we can have more of these kind of maps in rotation. One last pit stop of important news before we get to all the unimportant stuff. The defibs got nerfed. They no longer insta-revive. They put you on a revive timer as if someone was stood there and reviving you. If you want my humble opinion, I think this was a needed change. It's going to definitely take away defibs being a must-have, and it makes it fairer for 2v2s and stuff, because when you wipe out a teammate, the instant response was to have them be instantly revived unless you push them, which forcing a push onto someone is not always the right option, but it felt like the only option when it could instantly turn the table of a fight when they insta-res someone. It made the game feel so aggressive, and now there's more tactical options that can be taken when defibs aren't instantly reviving people. I do like this change. After saying this is the last pit stop, I've just realized we need to take another pit stop, because I forgot to talk about all the new gadgets and changes. Like, for example, the medium no longer has recon center, but has dematerializer, which lets you just put holes in things, and it seems like it's going to be absolutely nuttily broken. I can see this being used to steal cash outs without anyone actually even being seen stealing it, and it's just going to be insane to see how this is used, getting rid of one of the more useless abilities being recon sensor. I'm going to be very much eyes in the sky on this one, waiting to see how this is used. The medium all around coming out strong as well with data reshaper. This is also a good one. Being able to turn mines and turrets into something instantly without having to waste time and effort gunning it down is insanely good. Also, being able to turn away poison mines, not having to deal with them exploding while you're trying to take the cash out, is going to be an amazing change. One of the more boring ones, the anti-gravity cube, is up to bat for the heavy. It is literally the alien invasion gravity beam but in a grenade, and it sounds fun, but it just doesn't seem to work in practice. I've seen it used once and it wasn't used very effectively. Maybe the guy just used it very poorly, but overall I'm just not really excited by this one. And with that being said, you've already seen Light's gateway grenades, which were used in the last section, so we can finally get onto the actual smaller stuff. Looking at the smaller things, the Battle Pass is chock-a-block with skins, especially the ones that I'm looking at. The SMG that looks like an old NES console is pretty cool. Same with the Kawaii Jumper, I'm a sucker for that. Also, I'm a sucker for comedy skins, like the dagger that is a pencil, or the throwing knives that have been turned into scissors. You shouldn't run with those. The other thing I'm really gunning for in this Battle Pass is the sword. It looks amazing. I'm a big sucker for pixel-arted weapons, and this one tops the cake. Other than that, the Battle Pass ends with a pretty sick skin, but there's loads of items in this Battle Pass that will get you sunk in for hours, and it's pretty worth the money. Up next, and sadly the worst part of this update, is private lobbies. I don't know who greenlighted this and thought this was a good idea to do, but you can only select the game mode and not the map, and you can't have less than 6 players in the lobby or it won't work. So you can't even just do a fun 1v1 or anything. It's kind of a shame. It's kind of a waste of a lobby. And finally, up to that is contracts and circuits. Contracts are pretty generic things. They're just dailies and weeklies, which is fine. Every game has them, and I'm glad this one does. But circuits are interesting. They're like an account-bound system where you can track goals that you've achieved throughout your career playing the game, like revive so many teammates, win so many games as a medium, heavy, or light, so on and so forth, and get rewards for doing so. It's a cool little unique system. I'm kind of happy that it's in the game. It's a pretty interesting one, and I'm pretty happy with it. And that is pretty much Season 2 in a nutshell from a casual standpoint. There's some random stuff like Retro Invasion 82. I don't know if that's a permanent thing here to stay, or if that's going to go at some point. So I don't really feel comfortable commenting on it, or if there's any other actives that they've added. So I'm going to wait until I do the ranked video for that, and just ball all those actives in together as they show up through the ranked video. But until then, I'm going to recommend Season 2. It is definitely worth trying out, especially if you felt Season 1 didn't do a lot for you. Season 2, it adds a little bit more spice to the gameplay. It probably still won't do it for you, but if you were enjoying it and were waiting for new stuff, this is definitely time to jump in. And if you really want to try it, now is the time. It is definitely an improvement on Season 1. Other than that, there's not much else to say. I really enjoyed my time, and I can't wait to crack down and get prepared for ranked. A special shout out to Shadow Genzo, or Genzu, or however you pronounce that name. I will call her Shadow from this point on. Her socials are in the description down below. She helped me through this recording session. She teamed up with me, so I wasn't solo queuing the whole experience, which was really nice. I'm hoping I can wrangle her in for the ranked video, but we will see how that goes. It probably won't happen, but you never know. She's going to start streaming soon, so her Twitch and Twitter will be in the description down below. Don't know when soon is. It's like soon TM at this point. It is a Wayfinder coming soon, so, you know, keep an eye out, go follow her and see if she ends up streaming or not. Until then, I'm recommending Season 2, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.